Hello, everyone. Sorry. As people start rolling in, just hang out for a second and wait for everyone to get in. And also, if you can't hear me, let me know, or if something sounds off. Also, feel free to say hi in the comments. I'll say hi. Happy first week of school, I guess, for some of us. I just got back this week. I just went back. But I know a lot of people have been back for a couple weeks now. So while we're waiting for everyone to come in, if you want to share how your week's been going, how your first couple weeks have been, that would be great. Mine has been awesome. I'm a senior, so very busy, but very fun. And I'm also going to share my screen at some point when more people get in here. Like I said, share how your week's been, or you can share how you're feeling right now in emojis. That'd be pretty cool. I'm going to do, let's see, where's a tired face? Yeah, we're going with that today. Tired. Hi, welcome, welcome. Like I said, feel free to talk about how your week's been. I know it's my first week, so feel free to leave a comment, how you're feeling, what's the current emotion. I know it's been probably a long week for everyone, and we're all ready for Labor Day. So yeah. Where's everyone coming from also? I'm curious. I'm in North Carolina. Okay, so to kind of kick us off, so just to say, I'm Maddie, and I'm a senior in high school, and I'm in North Carolina. So if you guys want to let me know where you're from, that'd be cool. I'm going to do a poll, and so we're talking about studying and time management. So my poll is going to be about how much y'all study, because I know everyone kind of hates studying. I don't really mind it, but on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being most, and 1 being the littlest or the least. And let me know. Let me know how much you guys study, because that'd be pretty cool. Should pop up. Okay, so we have one answer. Fun. Anyone else? How much do you guys study? Scale of 1 to 10, or 1 to 5. 1 being the least, and 5 being the most. Okay, we got a 4. I would probably say I'm between a 3 and a 4. Okay, another 4. Yeah. I think I started studying more once I got into the AP classes. Okay, lots of 4s. Sweet. Anyone else? Feel free. 1 to 5. How much do you study? I would say I used to be a 1, and now I'm a 4, definitely. But okay, cool. Okay, well, we're gonna hop into it then, because I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, and we're gonna talk all about studying. Super fun, I know. Yeah, I agree. All about that balance, which we're also going to talk about, because balance is important, but it's also really hard. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? I know you can, I think. Yeah. Perfect. And sweet, sweet. Okay. Give me a hot second to get adjusted. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Processing. Yes. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Sorry, let's get started. So like I said, like it's been prefaced, this is about studying and time management. And so first, I just want to say that if you don't follow Fiveable on Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, you totally should. They're super cool, and there's also really funny memes. So, you know, I think that's pretty cool. I like to watch a good meme. I don't know about you. Okay, so I'm gonna hop into it. So for this stream, we're gonna talk about one, studying well, and then study strategies, my best study tips personally after 4 years of high school. I'm a senior in high school. AP Psych specific study tips, because that's really important as well. And AP Psych is definitely, you kind of have to specialize studying for that. And then we're going to talk about time management and my best time management tips. And then feel free, we're going to do a Q&A at the end. So feel free to ask questions throughout. There should be an ask a question button. Ideally, ask on that, but also ask in the comments, and that's totally cool too. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so how to study well. So I feel as there is a big difference between learning and memorizing. So memorizing, you're just memorizing, and then learning, you're actually having an understanding of it. And you really are truly understanding the information. And so I think that to truly do that, you have to connect. And so what this means is you're basically connecting a concept to something personal, maybe a sound, a sight, a picture, whatever. I know for me, like I'll give an example. When I tore my ACL last year, it was like really traumatic, obviously. And so when I was in psychology last year and we learned about flashbulb memories, I was like, wait, tearing my ACL, it was a flashbulb memory, right? And so that's how I remembered it. And so things like that, connecting it to something personal, especially with AP Psychology, there are so many vocab words. And so it's really important that you are like remembering and learning and understanding, because when you get to that exam, you want to make sure you're remembering all of them. So yeah, just make sure you're connecting, associating it with something. And then also do what works best for you. So there's so many different ways that you can study, right? And honestly, some ways work great for other people, they don't work great for me. And so I would say, like, just because it works for the girl that sits next to you doesn't mean it's going to be great for you. So, I mean, don't feel pressure to do what everyone else is doing. I personally hate flashcards. Like, I will talk about it later. I don't like paper flashcards. They stress me out. I don't learn. So just find something that works for you. If you find something in this stream and you're like, man, that sounds cool, try it. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, you can try something else. Okay, so we're going to hop into studying strategies. So the first one is summary sheets. And this is a concept that I learned about this past year, and they're super cool. Essentially, you are just taking like a piece of printer paper. That's my personal go-to and favorite. And you are just going to like summarize the topic and the content. So you want to include pictures, diagrams, all that stuff, make it colorful. And the way I like to think about it is if you had to make a cheat sheet, like if your teacher said you could, what would you put on it? And that's going to help you to prioritize what you should put on the summary sheet. And so here's an example of one. This is one I did for psychology last year, and I did lots of colors. I write a lot on mine because I've learned by writing, but I know people that draw a ton on theirs, and they're super cool. So, oh, you can't see my screen? Okay. Let's see. How about now? Let's see. What are you seeing then? Because it says I'm screen sharing, so I'm kind of confused. Yeah. Okay, are we good? Can you see my screen? Let me know so I can keep going. For me, it's just your face. Okay. Interesting. Is it frozen or is it me talking? It's not frozen. Okay. I can try resharing my screen because for me, try reloading. Okay. For me, it says that I am, but now I feel like I'm not. Okay, hold on. Let me retry sharing my screen and see if that works. Okay. Is that better? Can y'all see? That helped? Okay. Let me know if it looks weird or janky. Okay, is that good? Are we good? Okay, I'm just gonna assume that we're good and move on. Okay, so summary sheets. This is another example. This is annoying. Okay, no worries. I did it for psych and I did it for memory. And so that's another example of a summary sheet. I think they're really cool. They help me so much to just summarize the information. And so yeah, so the next one we're going to talk about is a concept map. Okay, so I know that everyone's heard of concept maps, but I think they're super cool. And I think they're just a great way to connect all the concepts and connect to the main idea. And it kind of depends though. You have to kind of feel out what the subject is before you do the concept map because, you know, sometimes it's not as easy to connect. And it's also really important to write in detail and include examples and write in your own words because you're not really learning if you're copying from the textbook. You're learning when you're doing your own words. And then here's an example of a concept map that I did. And so this one I think was on the endocrine system. This is for AP Bio. I think concept maps are really great for AP Bio. And then this one was also for AP Bio. I don't think I did any for Psych that were good enough to show people. And so this is one on macroevolution, and it just says like really colorful, really detailed. It's awesome. I love it. It just helps me to connect all the ideas together. And then also feel free to ask questions again if you guys have any. I'd love to answer some. Just anything studying related or time management related. Okay, so next one is flashcards and Quizlet. So I know I told you how I feel about flashcards. I'm not a huge fan. They are, if they work for you, that's so awesome. I wish they worked for me. I honestly am very tempted to look on the back of them. I have to have someone else do it for me, and then it's kind of hard to find someone else. So I actually love Quizlet, and I know everyone knows about Quizlet, but not everyone knows about Quizlet Learn. So Quizlet Learn is the best thing that will happen to you, hands down. Best thing ever. Any subject, Quizlet Learn is amazing because they're taking you through the definitions of the words and they're making you write them. They're making you like just do all the things, and it's awesome and I love it. And so Quizlet Learn is just a resource I used all year last year. I'm using it in APUSH this year because APUSH is really term heavy. So I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it. It is a great way to learn vocab, and then you can also do a test at the end, which is also great. And the next thing is review videos. So I did this for Psych a lot, and we would watch, what are they, crash courses? I'm sure everyone's seen them. I know for AP Bio, it was like Mr. Anderson, all kinds of videos, and those are just really good to watch. I like to watch them when I don't really feel like writing. I'm going to call this lazy studying. You still have to be actively engaged, but sometimes it's just you want to watch something. So I think they're great. And then I also like to do something else like Quizlet or some of that stuff, but they're really nice to watch. And then the next one is just homework and practice problems. I know this is really standard, but I think homework and practice problems are just like a really great go-to, especially to see what's going to be on the test. I feel oftentimes the homework the teachers give you is kind of similar to what goes on the test. And so, yeah, I think they're great. And they also just help you to remember what you learned at the beginning of the unit. Okay, so next is study groups. Let me know if you're a fan of study groups. I'm actually pretty curious. Write it in the chat. Are you a fan of study groups? Yes or no? Because I am not. I hate them. But that's because I'm a social butterfly, and so I cannot focus in them at all. I wish I could, but yeah, let me know. Are you a fan of study groups / do you actively participate in a study group? Because I think they are very helpful when used efficiently. So I'll give you a second to answer that. If anyone wants to answer. If no one answers, I'm going to take it as, yeah, I only study with another person. Yeah, I can't do study groups. I just feel like for me, they're not effective. But I know people that love them. So I think it just depends. You should be with people that hold you accountable. I think that bouncing off ideas, I usually talk too much. Yeah, me too, me too. I usually use it as catch-up time with friends. I think bouncing off ideas is very good, and that's like the great part about it, but it's also like just like I feel like I cannot focus. And so yeah. If you like study groups though, good for you. And then the next study tip is study guides. So this is like very rudimentary, but I think study guides are awesome. I love doing study guides because I think it helps me to see what's going to be on the test, and it helps me review all the content. What happens to me is I oftentimes don't go back and review the earlier content as much, and then I get to the test and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't remember this. And I think that's a really common issue. So study guides are awesome. And I would also say too, because I know sometimes in AP classes, your study guides can be like hecka long, like 3 pages, and it's just like I'm not going to sit down for 3 hours and work on this. So what I usually like to do is break it up and do like a section a day for like 5 days before the test or something. And then I feel like I'm getting the studying in, but I'm not overwhelming myself with study guides. So yeah. And the next one I believe is, yeah, my best study tips. Okay, so my first best study tip, and it is to find a good study space. So I feel like this goes without saying, but I'm going to go over it because I always know people that are like, oh, I don't know where to study. Yes, AP Psych Ultimate Study Guide coming soon as well, so that's going to be awesome. So for studying spaces, I think it depends on the person. I know people that function so well in a noisy environment, and they can tune out the chaos. I'm not one of those people. I can only focus, like, I need pretty much silence, and I know I'm not the only one. If you want, let me know what you function best in, but I usually cannot study in my house. Like, if I need to sit down and, like, grind it out, I'm not in my house. I'm in, like, the library or a coffee shop. Um, my personal favorite is a local coffee shop in Charlotte. I love it. Get me a cup of coffee, enjoy myself, get me some studying done, but find what works for you. That really makes a difference. And then also tidy your work environment. So I know this is gonna be unpopular because nobody wants to clean, but personally, it helps me so much to tidy up my work environment. And I just can't focus when there's clutter and mess everywhere. And so I would recommend, like, if you're gonna study in your house, like on your desk or whatever, like, clean some things up, make your desk a little neater. I just think that helps a lot to help you focus. It takes away some of the distractions. And then the next one is to silence and turn off your phone. I know that that is such a struggle. Like, I know everyone has trouble with it, but it truly is our biggest distraction. I think one of the biggest study struggles is distraction, and it is just so hard to do it when you're on your phone. And so I usually, if I need to sit down and study for a long time, I just either turn mine off or I silence it and I put it like under a pillow because it's like out of sight, out of mind. Um, and it's like so challenging because you always want to check it, but you find how easily you can concentrate. And also, side note, you guys may have used this, but there's this really cool app. I think it's called Trees, and like it kind of like grows a tree if you're not on your phone. It's like a focus app. I don't know a lot about it, but if you do, um, please share because I don't know. That sounds really cool, and I think that would also be really helpful. So next one is drink water. I'm a big hydration fan. Hydrate or dihydrate. And okay, Forest app. Cool. Yeah, I think it's really cool. And I have tried it before and I really liked it. Okay, so anyway, I love to drink water when I study. I just like to have like a big cup of ice water. I need that to focus. And so when I'm studying, I always drink water and so it just keeps my brain fresh. I also like to study with coffee too. It's just I feel like coffee dehydrates you. Um, and so I just prefer water. But yeah, I think it's really good to have it with you when you're studying. And also it prevents you from getting up to get water and making excuses for not studying. Um, that's really cool. Okay, so if anyone's curious, Forest app, you enter the time you want to focus and it doesn't allow you to go on other apps. That sounds awesome. I'm definitely going to try that again. I need that in my life. I think a lot of us do. And then my next study tip is to take study breaks. So I know this is kind of an unpopular opinion because we kind of live in this mindset of like the grind and always grinding and you just stay focused and keep on working. But I mean, I know for me, after a certain amount of time, my brain just stops working. Like I need a break. I need to relax. Not take a nap, but like for 10, 15 minutes, I'll like go for a walk with my dogs. I'll, get a snack, read a book, watch like a bit of my favorite TV show, just something where my mind's just being taken off the work. And I also feel like that helps me to really like change my perspective and see things in a different way. And that's also really helpful. I just think it's good to break out of the normal rhythm. And so I just highly recommend study breaks. I think they're so awesome. And so then my next tip is using colorful and fun pens. So I hope I'm not the only person who does this because I'm going to feel kind of weird, but I love using bright and colorful pens. They help me stay focused. They help me have fun with it, be creative. They also help me keep things organized. So if you use colorful and fun pens, comment which ones you use because I love the zebra Sarasa, I think ones. I'm going to sound dumb if that's not how you pronounce it. Those are my favorite. Those are my go-tos for studying. Like all the concept maps and summary sheets were made with those. So I just think those are great and they help you be excited about studying. And then my last one is use your own words. I think that this one is really hard because it's really easy to copy stuff from notes, the PowerPoint, the textbook, but you really want to know it. Like if you really want to know it, you need to be able to use your own words. And also, if we're talking about FRQs, which AP Psych, there's a lot of FRQs, you need to know how to write like and explain in your own words. And that's going to help you if you start doing it now when you're studying and you start incorporating that on the day-to-day, it's going to help you so much when you get to the FRQs. And it also just helps you know that you understand it. And you can always write on your, rate in your own words and then check the notes and be like, wow, I was kind of off. I guess I don't know what I thought I did. And then you can just review. And it's not a big deal and you know where you're at. But using your own words is awesome. And I guess I have an 8th. Start studying in advance. Don't cram. Don't, I don't know anyone who's told me I enjoyed cramming and it helped me in the end. Cramming is exhausting and it does not help you contain and remember information as well as studying over time does. So I know everyone's busy, and I know if you're taking several AP classes, it's like, but how do I even start studying earlier? And my answer would be just even 30 minutes a night, 3 or 4 days before the test. Just do some studying. And that is so helpful, and that can help so much. I just highly recommend that. I usually do 30 minutes a night, and then the night before the test, I'll study for an hour or something like that, or a little bit longer. And that helps so much. It's just you need that repeated exposure to it to just really know it and grasp the concepts. And so now we are going to get into my AP Psychology strategy. So we're going to get AP Psych specific. So I got a 5 on my AP Psych exam, and I felt like I did really well in the class. I feel like I nailed down a study strategy, and I love that. And so this is my study strategy. Here's what I did. So I would do the Quizlet Learn for that unit, and I would learn the words really well, and then I would do a test on Quizlet, and obviously I wanted to pass and get 90 or 100, and that was great for me. And then what I would do is I would go through my teacher's PowerPoints, and I would do summary sheets or retake my notes essentially, and I would draw pictures and all that stuff, but I would only draw what felt really important. So if it's there's something I knew, I don't know what y'all are learning in psychology right now, but I know for me, say we were learning biological basis, right? When I was studying for that test, I was I know what a neuron looks like, so I'm not really necessarily going to spend time going over that. But then there are certain things I don't really know all the neurotransmitters. I don't know that, so I definitely went over that. And I just think that's really helpful in solidifying information. And it's a great review to look back on too when you're studying for the AP exam. All right. And then these are my AP Psychology study actually, just kidding, my time management tips. Sorry. Time management, I also want to say it's hard. As someone said earlier, balance is everything. But it can be so hard to balance. I know as an AP student, I try to do the most, and I have a bunch of classes and a bunch of tests, and it feels impossible, but I promise it's not. And if you just try and you're a little bit intentional about it, you can really help yourself in the end. Okay, so like I said, this is a reality check. You cannot do it all. I know there's someone that's trying to. I try to every day. You cannot do it all. But you need to realize that and go ahead and realize that now, instead of spending your year burning yourself out and trying to take all these classes and get A's and everything. Do the best you can. If the best you can is straight A's, great. If it's a B, that's also great. So just realize balance is really hard to achieve, and time management is just really hard, and sometimes you have to say no to things, sometimes you have to sacrifice things, but overall it's really worth it. And also prioritizing. Prioritizing is key. I've had to work on it so much of just saying this is really important to me, I need to make sure it gets done, versus Instagram, not so much, I just like to get on it. So that's a little reality check for you, especially at the beginning of the school year. Okay, so brain dumps, y'all. This is my absolute favorite thing. I love doing brain dumps, and it's the weirdest thing ever, and I know that everyone doesn't really get them, but I think they're awesome. And it's basically if you're stressed out or overwhelmed, you can do a gigantic to-do list and just break it down, right? So I don't know if I'm the only one who does to-do lists. Let me know. I love to-do lists. I'm a list person, but brain dumps are awesome because you can write down everything, and then you can break it down, so you can say these are really important. These are when I'm going to do it, and make it really intentional and tailored to you. And so this is an example, I'll skip that, of a brain dump I did. I know it's kind of hard to read. I mean, you don't need to read it. Those are just to-dos and stuff I have going on. But that was a giant one I did before a really busy week. And then I just underlined the really important stuff, and then I made notes and I scheduled things out, and then I made like a list after that on my planner of just like what I need to get done. So I just think they're awesome for prioritizing. And basically what you want to do, like I said, just make a to-do list, write down everything that's stressing you out, everything that's on your mind, events, games, tests, all that stuff. And then you can go in with a highlighter, a marker, a colorful pen, whatever floats your boat, and you can just like highlight the things that are urgent, like these need to happen today or tomorrow. This has got to happen. And then you can schedule those out and just organize everything too into different categories. So I don't know if you can see it on here. I don't even know if I have it on this one, but when I'm doing a brain dump, I will do a category for school, a category for clubs, a category for soccer, and that just helps me like compartmentalize everything and say, this is what I have to do for this time, this is what I have to do for this one, and it's the best. I love it, and I recommend trying one if you're just like, holy moly, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know what to do. This is just like probably one of the best things I could tell you to do. But the other best thing I could tell you to do is to get a planner. I know not everyone likes planners, but you get to a point in life where you cannot just write things on your hand or remember them all anymore. So I recommend getting a planner. I think they're awesome. And I write a to-do list, and then I can do notes. I color code each of my classes so that I know what I have for each class, and then I often highlight what I'm doing for each class. And so I think that's awesome, and that works for me, but also do what works for you. I know if you have a planner also, tell me which one you have, because I'm kind of a planner nerd. I have a day designer, if anyone's ever heard of that. But I just think they're super cool and they work best for me. But I also know that there are a lot of really cool planners that you can design yourself. And you can do like stickers and markers, and I don't really know what they're called, but I think they're so cool. And I wish I was creative enough to do that. I get stressed out by that kind of stuff. But those are also so cool. So I would just recommend finding a planner that works for you and being able to write stuff down and just stay organized. Organization is key. If you have a lot going on, you need to be organized and manage your time and plan things out and just have like a space where all that belongs, which is a planner. And this is what my planner looks like. So like I said, it's a day designer. This was actually my planning spread last night, I guess from yesterday, so Wednesday. And so I had like my school, I think I had like to babysit after school, and then I had like the really important stuff highlighted, and then I just made notes. So I would like to say that it is pretty messy, and that's totally cool. I'm totally fine with it. I kind of thrive on that. If I try to make it neat, it's not as effective. But yeah, I recommend highlighting and just jotting it all down and getting it all on paper. That's like what's best for me, and do what works best for you, but I think that's awesome. And the next thing is time blocking. So back to the Forest app, because I think now that I know more about it, that would be awesome for time blocking. So what I do is if I really am stressed out, right, and I have like an essay to write, or I have a test the next day, or just something's really, I'm procrastinating heavily, because I'm a procrastinator. I don't know. Let me know if you're a procrastinator too. We can struggle together, but I've always been one. And so what I end up having to do is time block and just say, look, this really needs to get done, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set aside, like if I have 45 minutes, I'm going to set aside 45 minutes and I'm just going to do it, right? And I'm just going to see like how much I can get done in that time. And so that just pushes me to say, okay, like I want to finish it this time. Like how much can I do? Let's just grind it out for 45 minutes and see where it goes. And a lot of times I end up finishing it, or it'll be the end of the 45 minutes and I will have like a few minutes left, or I'll have a few things left to do. So I really recommend time blocking. I think it's awesome and it just works a lot for me. Another important note though with time blocking is that after the 45 minutes or after however long, like if you still have a lot to go, like more than one question, then put it aside and just try something else, start something else, and just take yourself away from it for a little bit. And then you can come back to it later, but at least you made a really good dent into it. Okay, so the next one is to be intentional. Okay, so being intentional, let's talk about it. Intentionality is really hard, especially in high school, and especially being super distracted by things like your phone. I really struggle with this because I feel like for high school students, and let me know if you agree, because I just feel like it's so true. But we know what we have to do. It's not that I don't know what I need to do, it's that I don't really feel like doing it. Procrastination nation over here. I put the pro in procrastination. Sorry, I like puns. Yeah, so it's really just important to be intentional and just write things down and schedule them out and just know what you need to do. Be honest with yourself. Sometimes it's hard when you have a ton of work to do. Like the last thing that you want to do is just look at a list of all the work you need to do. But I just think that it's really important to just know and communicate with yourself and respect yourself enough to do that. Just getting it off your chest also really helps. And I like to schedule things, so as you can probably tell at this point, seeing my planner, I am very much type A planner person, and so I like to schedule a time when I'm going to do stuff. So like this Saturday afternoon, I will probably do college stuff because I'm a senior, and that's just the reality that I live in right now. But you can do it with other things too. Like if you know that you have a project coming up, just say, you know what, on Friday, well, not on Friday. Friday is for me having fun. On Tuesday night, I'm going to spend an hour working on my project. I just think that if you write it down and you get it on the calendar, then you're more likely to do it rather than just saying in your head. And also, if you're really struggling with it, ask a friend to hold you accountable, like a friend that's going to respect that and actually do it. Because sometimes you need someone to text you and be like, hey, have you done your assignment yet? And just being like, you know what? No, but I'm going to start it right now. So just a reminder, like be intentional, write stuff down. It'll really help you in the long run. And I also want to say for anyone who wasn't here earlier, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll answer anything at all related to school, studying, time management. If you just have a dilemma about it, totally let me know, and I'd love to give you advice, talk to you about it. This is kind of my jam. I love planning and stuff. So yeah, and you can do that in the comments or the ask the question button. So we're gonna go to the next time management tip, which is power pockets. Sounds really fun, I know. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this. I feel like a lot of people have. I think it's gotten pretty popular, but I love them. This kind of likes time blocking a little bit, but it's really on its own too. So if you're like me, I'm a girl on the go. I'm sure we have other girls on the go or guys on the go in here. And I feel like I never have time to do anything. And I know that I'm not the only person. When you're really busy, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have 3 hours to sit down and do homework. And so power pockets are awesome. You can just sit down, like say you have like an hour or like 30 minutes. You should just like, you have to use those power pockets and like just get what you can get done in 30 minutes. And so the design is like really productive intervals, if that makes sense. So like 30 minutes here, 45 minutes there, and just like working and sitting down and focusing for that amount of time, but doing that like a lot. So I know for me, like I might have an hour when I get home from school, so I'll just like work on an assignment. And so I think power pockets though, they get overlooked a lot because I think we say, oh, I don't have time, like 30 minutes isn't enough time for me to be really intentional and productive. And so I'm just like gonna chill and sit on my phone or watch a TV show. And as relaxing as that is, like you do have time. Just like do what you can. It's better to do a little bit and just get started than to not do anything at all. And this also goes for after class when your teacher gives you homework and you have like 10 minutes until the bell rings. Start the homework. Do yourself a favor. I promise when you go back later that night, you're gonna be like, oh, I already finished some of my homework, and you're not gonna be as stressed out and you're gonna feel so much better. Okay, so we're going to get down to the truth about balance, right? And like I said, and I think someone was saying earlier, balance is really hard. The truth about balance is that it's actually not achievable. There's no such thing as perfect balance, you know? Like you can't do everything. We're not perfect. If you need that reminder, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. You're also in high school, and I'm in high school. We're going to mess up, and we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to forget about assignments, or we're going to be so focused on academics that we're going to forget to call our friends, and that's totally okay. Like true balance doesn't really exist. And so I think you have to just accept that balance is going to look a little bit different in every season, right? It could change on a weekly basis. So for me, like this is my first week of school, right? And I think maybe for other people it is as well, or like it's one of their first weeks of school. So I know for me this week, I've just been really busy with school, and academics have been everything. And that's great, but I also mentioned earlier that I tore my ACL last year. So I've been doing a lot of physical therapy and I've been doing a lot of training so I can go back and play sports. But because this week has been so academically focused, I've had to kind of back off of that and put that on the back burner a little bit. And so that's just how it works. Like as you start to focus on certain things, the things that you used to really focus on kind of start to fall in priority. And honestly, that's totally okay. Things change. You have to do what you have to do. Um, like I said, sometimes like working out might not be as important as doing your homework, or vice versa. Like, maybe one week you are really busy with sports. So maybe working like your sports are going to be more priority over your homework, and that's totally okay. You cannot perfectly balance everything. Um, and I'd also like to say that if you're trying, you don't have to. Like, you can stop trying. It's okay. Get your sleep, take care of yourself. Balance is really hard, but we can all work on it, and we can all just accept that it's going to change over time. And also just make time for what's important to you. I think a lot of us struggle with getting burnt out. I know I got really burnt out last year, and that was really hard for me. And I know other people are the same, like have been the same. Like we just go, 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 and we do work, and we do work, and we do work, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the school year, and I'm exhausted. And so I think we just have to focus on the things that are important to us. So, say you really love to write. If you're just like you love to write in your free time, make time for that. Make time for the things that you love. If you love to run, make time to run. If you love to hang out with your friends, make time for that. Like, it's okay to do that. And it doesn't make you less academic. It's important. You can't do just one thing. Like, you have to have, like I said, balance. And so you need to like have your friend time, have your sleep, have your hobbies and all that stuff. And that's really important. So yeah, that's the truth about balance. And I hope that was helpful for you guys. And those are all the slides that I have tonight, but I also really want to answer some questions. So I'm going to unshare my screen and then pop on here normally. Hi. And I just want to answer some questions. I know there's one question, and it says, oh, what's your opinion on rewriting notes? Okay. So I think I said this, but I love rewriting notes. But I also think there's a way to do it. And so this is like how I think you should do it. I don't think it's productive for you to rewrite everything because it's very time consuming, but also there's some things that like you get, right? And you understand, like you got it on the first try. So I think rewriting notes is really great to what's it called? Solidify information that you weren't sure about, right? So if you want to rewrite all your notes, go for it. But I don't think it's productive. I think it's just good to like go through the slides that you're not really sure about, and then work on that. So I do like rewriting notes though, and I also want to say too, I don't rewrite my own notes that I took during the lecture. I go to my teacher's PowerPoint. I don't know how that works for other school systems, but I know all my teachers have like PowerPoints on the screen, or they have like shared to like a classroom, like Google Classroom or Canvas or something like that. I'm sure most places have some sort of means to do that. And then I just go through it and like rewrite what I think is important because I just feel like that helps me review. But that's just me, and I know not everyone's into writing notes, and that's totally cool too. But I personally write remember and learn best when I'm writing and I write something down. So this is like honestly something I do, and I know it's kind of weird. I've been doing it since I was little. If I cannot remember something, like even just a definition or a word, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've tried so many times I can't remember it, I will write it down on a piece of paper like 7 times, maybe like 5 times, and then I will like crinkle it up and I'll rip it up and I'll throw it away. And it works every time because then I remember writing it, but I also remember crinkling it up and throwing it away. And it just helps me remember things. I've been doing it since I was in 4th grade. So if you really can't remember something, that's a really good thing to try. Okay, and there's also no more questions from this, but seriously, if you have any questions, Let me know. I can give you a second to think of some, but I'll answer anything. Opinions, whatever you are curious about. I took AP Bio, AP Psych, and AP Lang last year. So, do you have any favorite review notes? What do you mean? Like favorite review notes that I've done? Or, yeah, you could elaborate on that a little bit because lots of favorites and lots of things. Books. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so I really like the Barron's books. But also, I'm not a huge fan of review books in general. I think that they work amazing for some people. But for me, I get really bored really easily because, like I said, I just personally learn best by writing. So if I'm reading, you know what I mean. I just get a little distracted. But I have used the Barron's books and I really like them. I'm going to go ahead, and this is like true unbiased opinion. Seriously, I would attribute one of the main reasons why I got such a good score on my AP Psych exam because I actually like watched these live streams last year. They do like Bible is a really cool what's it called, AP review sessions towards exams where you can just do like Q&As and trivia, and that was so much fun for me, and that just helped me interactively learn and review much better. And so I really recommend that for the exams. But aside from that, like I said, I like the Barron's books, and I also like the Princeton review books. If anyone's ever used those, I've used those before for biology, and I really like that. But I will also say for psychology, I did not use any review books at all when I did my exam, and then throughout the year, I just had the textbook, and then my teacher's notes. And like I said, I would make like summary sheets and stuff, and that's what I used to study, like to look at the study. So yeah. Any other questions? I'll answer anything. Anything, study time, back school. What are your favorite psych review YouTube channels? What review videos? Okay, so great question, actually. I don't have a favorite because my teacher she's super cool. Like, she is the coolest, and she puts reviews in our PowerPoints, right? So I usually go back and like I'll watch those. But I really like the crash course videos. I know those are really popular, and I really like those because they're funny, and I feel like I'm more engaged in them. They don't drone. So those are probably my favorite. I'm trying to think what else I really liked. Kind of video-y, but there's somebody, he's like a teacher on this live stream, and his name is Dr. Mole, and he has a Snapchat, and he does like AP psychology review on there, and he'll just like put it on a story, and it's the funniest thing, and I would watch that last year, so that's really cool too. I don't know his username, but I could probably add it to like this later if I can find it. But yeah, his is really cool. And Crash Course. And those are the only ones I've really gotten into for psychology. But I also know there's like a lot of other cool ones. I know there's this what's it called? There's like a really cool company that does them too, and they do like experiments and stuff. So that's also really interesting. So, any other questions? I'll answer whatever. Like I said, I took AP Bio, AP Lang, and AP Psych last year. So if you also have any AP Psych questions in general, in the sense of like best way to organize for that class or take notes, like I said, my studying method was Quizlet, rewrite the notes, and then I think that's basically what I did. Then I'd read over my rewritten notes the night before. What about Albert? Yeah, I've never heard of that, like a YouTuber maybe. I've actually never heard of that, but that looks really cool. It's albert.io. Is that correct? Yeah. That is really cool. I've never heard of that, but I definitely need to look at it and try it and give it a shot. That sounds really cool. I'm always looking for more resources and fun things like that. Like I said, Fiveable really was a great resource for me. I'm currently taking AP Chem. Any tips for studying science? Okay, so I do not take AP Chem, obviously, but I took AP Bio, and my best tip would be to draw out, what's it called? So draw out the diagrams and images, and then the processes, and write them in your own words. And I also agree with Tucker, do lots of practice problems, because I know chemistry is definitely more mathy than bio, but just keep at it. You'll get there. Sciences are kind of hard because you want to understand everything, but you literally can't, right? Because you don't know everything, and it's like you're constantly learning. So I would say take good notes, draw things out, and write them in your own words. And I know for example, well, I guess this isn't really chem related, but like for the nervous system, there's like a little graph, like an action potential graph, and so I would just write out the steps in my own words, and that was awesome. Yeah, do lots of practice problems and take an exam. Oh, so are you going to self-study? That's really cool. I think that's awesome. Good for you. You go, girl. Or I think that's a girl. You go, person. Awesome. That's really amazing. I couldn't do that. I don't have the discipline, but I think that's perfectly fine. I would get a review book then, or I think the Barons would be good. That one, like, I heard really good things about. And then I would just say definitely keep watching these AP Psychology live streams. Once we get into the content, there's a few teachers that are streaming content, all of them that are streaming content, and they are so good. And so that's a great way to like repeatedly expose yourself. But what I personally would do is I would get a Barron's book, and then I would kind of break it up into like sections. So I would do maybe a unit every couple weeks. I don't know. I would definitely break it up though. I wouldn't wait till like the week before. I would start now and slowly build on that knowledge. AP Psych really isn't, it's not, like, this is what I call AP Psych. AP Psych is putting a name to a lot of things that you already know, right? So, and you will totally, like, find this to be true once you get more into the class, but it's just like, you're like, oh, I know that, like, that makes sense to me, like, oh, yeah, like, I know that, and then it's like, oh, but that's what it's called. And so that's the great thing about psych, and I think it's really doable. I think if you're going to self-study for an exam, that's a good one to self-study for. So yeah, do lots of practice problems. And then for the mock test, Barron's does have them, but I think College Board also has mock tests for all of their AP exams. So that would be a really good resource. And yeah, also I think there's another question, so I'm going to answer that. And this one, oh yeah, yep, okay, answered that one. Any other questions? Seriously, whatever you have. I really admire you for self-studying for AP Psychology, seriously. Like, that's so awesome. Yeah, good for you guys. How does everyone feeling about AP Psychology? Are they loving it? I think the content, you guys probably haven't gotten too much into it yet, but it was my favorite class. You guys are going to love it. Definitely something you need to study for, though. I don't know if I mentioned this. I know I did, but like, let me reiterate. AP Psychology has a lot of vocabulary, a lot of terms, right? So I know it's not fun to study words and like names and experiments, but you got to, and that's going to help you so much. So like I said, Quizlet Learn is a blessing. It is the best. Like I said, I cannot speak enough good words about Quizlet Learn. It is awesome. So yeah, definitely check that out. And again, any other questions, totally will answer anything you guys are wondering about. And if not, then we can go ahead and head on out. But definitely want to give you guys time to ask any questions at all. I know for me, AP Psych was a little overwhelming at first. So I think in any of your AP classes, like, if you feel overwhelmed, it's fine, and you probably, like everyone is at this point. So stick it out. Keep working, keep pushing. You can do it. I promise. It's going to be so worth it. The exam, you're going to do great. I mean, I know that's so long from now, but you have to start early. Begin with the end in mind. You guys are going to rock your AP class this year. And I also hope that watching this helped you figure out a lot more studying strategies and time management strategies, and that you can put those to use in your school life, in life in general, because time management is hard, and I still am working on it. But hopefully this is helpful and give you guys some new ideas, and you can try some new things and find out what works for you. Because, that would be awesome if this could help any of you. So, okay, so if there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. But like I said, if you have any last minute questions, go ahead and let me know. I'll give you guys a few minutes or, to ask before I go ahead and end. Where is everybody from? I'm very curious. If you want to let me know, that'd be really cool. Just like the state that you're in or a part of the country. That would be awesome. Well, if that is all, and there's no more questions, then we're gonna, Arizona, wow, that's cool. Florida, that's what I was saying, this is cool. Florida, I've never been to Florida, I've never been to Arizona. Colorado, that is so fun. I would love to go to Colorado. It's beautiful. Okay, that's super cool. Okay, well, thank you guys so much. You guys have been such a good audience, and I really hope anything I said was helpful. I hope you guys have an awesome school year. Definitely come back and tune back in. We do streams for AP Psychology 3 times a week, or I guess for students twice a week. And also for your other AP subject needs. We do all the subjects. So come back and see us. Thanks so much. I hope this is helpful, and have a great Friday tomorrow, because it's Friday, friends.